This is YLOC lesson 22 for 2nd grade. And the first question here asks, how many full blocks does it take to measure the following object? So we have a dolphin here, and we can just draw a line across the tip of the dolphin's snout, and then from there to the tip of its tail. So that's how long the dolphin is, and now we just have to count how many blocks it takes. So we have 1, 2, 3. So the answer to this one is B, 3 blocks. Number 2, which tool would you use to weigh a sack of potatoes? So here, the key word here is weigh. And usually when you find the weight of something, like find out how many pounds or ounces an object is, you would use a scale. So the answer to this one is B. Okay. Number 3, it asks, use the ruler to measure the length of the line below. So again, like we did with the dolphin, we just can draw a line stretching out. And you can eyeball it, but it's around 4 centimeters. So the answer is B. Okay, second page. How many full blocks does it take to measure the following objects? So we have a banana here, and just get the tip, and then make a straight line up. Get the other tip, straight line up. Now we count how many blocks are in this area. So we have 1, 2. So the answer to this one is A, 2 blocks. Okay, next one asks, how many blocks tall is the following object? So we have a teddy bear here, and we just get the bottom, put a line across, get the top, line across, and then you can make a box, and then just count how many blocks are inside. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So this object is 4 blocks tall. Okay, next, which tool would you use to measure the length of a crayon? So the keyword here is length, and length is usually you're measuring how long something is, and for that you would use a ruler. So the answer is C. Third page, they ask us to use the ruler to measure the length of the line below. So we have a ruler with 12 centimeters, and again, it doesn't say here, but this is technically 0. So we go from 0, put a line here, and then we go from 0 to around 10. And 10 minus 0 is obviously 10, so the answer to this one is A. Okay, next, which tool would you use to bake brownies for the correct amount of time? So here, the keyword we have to look at is amount of time. And I think they're trying to trick you because usually when you think of baking, you would think of a measuring cup, but that's not the case here. So instead, you would look at you would look at amount of time, and when you think of time, you would think of a clock or a timer. So the answer is A. Okay. Again, they ask how many full blocks does it take to measure the following objects. So the present here, go from the edge, make a line up, edge, line up. Count how many blocks there are. 1, 2, 3. So the answer is B, 3 blocks. Okay. Last page, they ask, which tool would you use to measure the correct amount of baking powder for the cake batter? So here is actually amount of baking powder for the cake batter. So this one you would actually think of baking. When you think of baking, you usually think of measuring things. So the answer would be D, measuring cup. Okay, next, how many blocks tall is the following object? So we're looking at this hammer. Get the end of the hammer, make a straight line across. Get the top of the hammer, straight line across. Now we just count how many blocks are inside. So 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks. So the answer is D. Okay, last question. Which tool would you use to measure the side of a picture frame? So measure the side. Usually if you're measuring the length of something, again, you would use a ruler. So measure the side. So when they ask measuring the side, they're referring to the length. And that would be ruler. So the answer is A. And that is all.